Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2022 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Strike, the Executive Director, in conversation with Emily Goss, the filmmaker of A Little House in Aberdeen, a film that you can see as part of our shorts program that is you will be able to watch during our virtual portion of our film festival. The in-person dates begin September 19th and run through the 25th, followed immediately by our virtual festival, which begins September 26th and ends October 2nd. All the information about our screenings and other events can be found at the festival website, peacefilmfest.org. And now let's welcome Emily to talk about her film. Hello, Emily. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Hi, it's great to see you, Emily. So let's start off. Tell us about the film.
A Little House in Aberdeen is about a woman who's reflecting on her past and wondering about her future while she happens to be having an abortion. It's a story about a person apart from the procedure and gives us a matter-of-fact look into an abortion. The film is hopefully a piece that normalizes abortion and humanizes the people who have them.
Well, that's a very important tone to strike, considering that oftentimes these kinds of procedures in media are presented as not so matter of fact, or that they are as narratives are wont to do, to seek out drama and to inflate that drama.
Absolutely. A statistic that is stunning to me is that 1 in 4 women will have an abortion in addition to the trans and non-binary people who will have them. And so there are as many different abortion stories as there are abortions. Some of them are difficult decisions. They are traumatic. They are fraught. Some of them are not. And I wanted to say with my film that sometimes an abortion is not a big deal and we can talk about it, and it's not the main character of my story, so to speak.
Well, in talking about your approach, not only tonally, but not to give too much away, but everything takes place in one room, and yet the way you use your camera, at least for me, while I was watching it, the approach that you had taken with the camera made me feel as though there were times when I was in sync with the characters' thoughts, and I was lost from the fact that I was in a room, a medical room. So, Emily, delving a little more deeply into your approach, I found your approach really interesting, not only because of your tonal approach and the dramatic approach that you were taking, but also your use of the camera. That you're in just this one room, but you use the camera, you move the camera in order to really increase the connection that the viewer, at least in my case, that the viewer makes with the subjectivity of the lead actress.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I'm glad that it worked for you. The film takes place during the procedure, in the procedure room, and like you said, is shot in a single take. And I wanted to do it in one for several reasons. One being, there's nowhere for the audience to go. Like, they have to be there whether they want to or not and bear witness to this person's experience. Another reason is because it's shot in a single take, there's no editing or there's no cutting, so there's no sleight of hand or time lapsing. And I hope we can show that an abortion really is a simple medical procedure. They take 5 to 10 minutes. My film is 7 minutes. And a lot of people choose to have sedation, but you can just have a local anesthetic. You can drive yourself home afterwards. Some of the most rewarding conversations I've had about the film have been with people who, after watching it, have been like, is that it? And yeah, like, yes, actually, that is it. And I hope that by treating the subject matter so casually, we can remove some fear and hysteria, no pun intended, but like some some of this overblown controversy where there doesn't need to be controversy.
Well, yes, because we're talking ultimately about healthcare, and it's and I think maybe it's now just dawning on some folks that this isn't some kind of singular procedure that can be isolated from an overall arc of health of care for people.
That's such an important point, as we're seeing now with these abortion bans and the chaos that is ensuing. Yeah.
And so, what would you hope? A big part of what our festival is about is, is not only presenting compelling stories, but also um, catalyzing conversation and action and so forth. And do you have any kinds of conversations that you hope people will engage in around this film, as you alluded to, having had some around the film?
Yeah, I hope people also identify with the character, whether or not they thought they could or would if they just heard the log line. My goal as the writer as well was to make the story super specific, because I find that the more specific a story, the more universal it ends up being. So I poured a lot of anecdotes from my own life and some of my own beliefs into the character, into the script, because I hope that this film activates the empathy muscle. And I hope that moving forward, people can come into conversations about abortion almost as if they deeply personally know someone who has had an abortion. Because, spoiler, they do. Everybody knows someone who has had an abortion. So that's definitely one conversation I hope can happen. I also hope that people who are interested in joining the fight for reproductive justice can get the right information from the right sources. There's an organization called Abortion Access Front, which is a great Grand Central Station for action items and education. The National Network of Abortion Funds is also doing really important work about the abortion funds and indie clinics that are on the ground making a big difference.
That's so important, and thank you for that. So what can people do to support your work, and what comes next for you? What are you working on?
I hope people just share it. It definitely helps the more people see this film. So share the link, post it on social media, email it to a friend or a family member who you hope might get something out of it. What's next for me? So I am an actor as well. I wrote, directed, produced, and acted in this film. And right now I'm concentrating on the acting hat. I am in the middle of an audiobook series. So that's a very fun change of pace.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you will have to let us know when that audio project drops, because we love to promote the work of any filmmakers who have ever participated in the Global Peace Film Festival. So please do keep in touch with us so
Oh,
that we can
thank
let
you.
everyone know.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I definitely will.
Yeah. And thank you, Emily. This has been a wonderful conversation. And thank you for everyone who has listened to this glow. I really urge you, starting October 26th, when our virtual programming begins, to go to our website, peacefilmfest.org, and check out the Free for All Shorts program, where you will find A Little House in Aberdeen, written, directed, and produced and acted by Emily Goss. You can go to her Instagram.com/Emily Goss 650 Instagram account to follow her work and to connect with her over your thoughts about having seen this film. And again, our in-person programming begins September 19th. and runs through the 25th. Our virtual programming follows immediately, September 26th and ending October 2nd. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next Glow.